Hello, thank you for joining me. This is my very first video on my brand new YouTube channel. My name is Lori Staley, Addicted Stamper, and I've been an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator for over 17 years. I look forward to sharing creativity, fun projects, tips, and techniques with you on our crafting journey. Let's get started with tonight's project. We are going to be playing with the Pampered Pets stamp set, dies, and designer series paper. But that's not all there is to the Pampered Pets set. When I say that I love Stampin' Up! For many reasons, but one in particular is that all of their products complement and coordinate with each other. I'm not kidding. This has an entire suite of products. The three that you see laying here, the stamp set and the dies can be bought together in a bundle, which automatically gives you a 10% discount. But then there's a suite of products behind that that includes the designer series paper. It includes a combo pack of ribbon, and it also includes cute little trinkets that you can use as embellishments on any of your projects. I love that we have all that variety of product to use when we're being creative. I thought tonight I would share with you one of my favorite techniques, and we will be using the stamps and the designer paper, as I said, to create that. It's called reverse stamping, and oftentimes I get asked if there's a way to make a reverse image of a particular stamp. And there actually is. Reverse stamping is not a difficult technique as long as you have all of the right tools. And the tools that we're going to be using tonight include our Stamparatus, which is our stamp positioner, as well as the silicone pad. And let me tell you, if you do not have a silicone pad in your stamp studio, you really should consider adding it to your next order because it is quite the workhorse. I use it a lot when I'm gluing because none of our adhesives stick to it. They just wipe off or wash off. I also use it for this particular technique and many others, but it is kind of critical for the reverse stamping technique I'm about to show you. I've already mounted my little puppy dog on here, and before we came on, I went ahead and die cut some Whisper White. Again, if you don't have our Whisper White cardstock, you really should check it out. It's some of the best cardstock I've ever used. It's ultra smooth. I love the way the images stamp on it, and I really think that you'd be very pleased with it. So I'm just going to line this up in here to make sure I have him on the plate where I want him, and I do. So let me show you what we're going to do. We're going to grab some Memento black ink, and we're going to ink him up. The first thing I'm going to do before I start with that, though, is I am going to, if you can see this plate kind of slants down, I want to make it easier for me to ensure that I get good coverage on my stamp. So I just slid the stamp case underneath there. That straightens and flattens out the plate for me so that when I add my ink, I am not at an angle, therefore I'm not maybe missing an edge or a corner or getting ink on the plate that would then transfer to my project. And I'm going to stamp directly onto the silicone pad. I'm going to do it 2 times because I want to make sure that I have a good black crisp image when we go to transfer this onto our cardstock. Using the Memento ink allows me the option to color the dogs in with our Stampin' Blends, which are alcohol markers. They are also fabulous. I love coloring with them. And that looks pretty good to me. So I think we're going to go ahead. We're going to bring in our die cut piece of Whisper White. This is the front side. You can tell because of the stitching. So I'm going to flip that over. I'm going to place that snugly against the side here. And as you can see, I've had the silicone pad tucked into the corner the entire time. That just helps me make sure that I'm keeping everything straight. And I'm going to set that down. I'm going to come back and I'm going to stamp one more time. This time I didn't bother to re-ink because this is the back of our project. We're not really going to see this image. I'm really just using that stamp to press the cardstock down on to the black image that we created on the silicone pad. And then when I lift that up, we have a beautiful stamped image, but we also have a beautiful reversed image. How cool is that? I can take this away. And because this little guy is still on here, I can put his partner down with him. We're going to have 2 dogs on this project. Let me re-ink him one more time. Make sure he's where I want him, and he is. Firm and even pressure is the key. We want to make sure that we're making good contact with the whole image, both when we're stamping on the silicone pad and when we're doing it on our cardstock. Now look at that. Isn't that adorable? I think that's adorable. We are going to make this project now with those little guys. So I turned them into an anniversary card. I think they remind me of Lady and the Tramp, and they should have a piece of spaghetti going between them. But in place of the spaghetti, I am going to actually stamp a couple of little hearts. And I also want to let you know that I did go ahead and color in advance. So I've used the blends, as I said. I used the light smoky slate on their bodies, the dark real red on their collars, the light basic black to darken up their noses, and then I added some flirty flamingo in their ears and their mouths to represent like their tongue. And we are going to take some real red ink. Put that up there. And just stamp these hearts right here in between them. Okay. If you're looking for the Pampered Pet Suite, you will find that in our annual catalog. It is on page 42, I believe. And along with the Happy Anniversary stamp that I used on the inside of the card, that came from the Many Mates stamp set. This is a great greeting set. Lots of different greetings in there. And that is right beside the Pampered Pets. So I think you'll find that on 44 perhaps. Very close to that. Okay, so let's finish up this project. Quick and easy. We took a piece of real red cardstock, cut it at 5.5 by 8.5. I scored it at 4 1/4. Crease that with my bone folder. And then I cut off 2 inches from the front flap. So that left me with a 2 1/4 inch flap. I took a piece of the Designer Series paper from the suite, and I love our Designer Series paper because it is two-sided, so it's like getting double the options for your creativity, which is always great money-saving opportunity. Using some of our new seal, and we're just going to mount that on here. This is a 2 by 5 1/4 piece, so we'll get that centered. I did go ahead and cut a piece of basic black cardstock. These little guys are going to mount right on top of that. Like so. Now, when we're putting this on our card front, we want to be careful, right? So often we flip something over and we put our adhesive on it. We only want it at the top because we don't want to seal the card, and if we put it down here, that's exactly what we will do. So we're just going to run 2 strips of seal very close to the top edge and mount this in the center. I'm going to leave about 1/4 inch at the bottom. Okay. And I do want that to be straight. I will tell you that seal is fabulous. I was a snail user for my entire time, 17 years with Stampin' Up, and I was a little leery. It's really strong. It's much stronger than snail, and it takes a bit, I mean not a bit, it takes a few minutes for it to bond, which is good because that gives you the opportunity to adjust if it is crooked or whatever. But it is very strong, and then the Seal Plus is even stronger. So I often tell my card makers that your seal is for regular everyday card making. Your Seal Plus is for when you're doing 3D projects or projects that are going to have a lot of motion in them, and you want to make sure that that adhesive holds very, very tightly. So that's my tip on the Seal and Seal Plus. And the refills interchange. So you don't need to buy a specific applicator for Seal or a different applicator for Seal Plus. They will interchange, the refills will interchange into the applicators. Okay, so happy anniversary in the memento, just to keep our red and black theme going. And then I'm going to grab the real red again, and we're going to put some little hearts on the inside of that. as well, right up there. This is going to get mounted to the inside of our card. And this is just a regular 5 1/4 by 4 piece. It's left plenty of room for you to write a greeting, but it also keeps the greeting behind our card front. We don't have anything extending over on the sides. And then we're going to put just a little bit of bling on her. See, now in my world, dogs are all male and cats are all female. And I think that's because that's the way it was, our pets were when I was a kid growing up. But my brother has a female dog. So we often have conversations about the fact that, yes, there are, in fact, female dogs in the world. So I'm using my Take Your Pick tool. This is like, I have several of these in my studio as well because I want them at every station. And I just slid the rhinestone off of there. That's the red rhinestones also found in the annual catalog. And I can take the putty end, pick it up, and place it exactly where I want it on her collar to give her a little bling as they go out to celebrate their anniversary. How cute is that? And quick and easy, right? Again, having the right tools makes all the difference in the world. Okay, I did promise to show you one more thing, so let me do that real quickly. If you want to reverse die cut, right? We have a reverse stamped image, but now we want to die cut it, and how in the world do we do that? So the dies, the Pampered Pet dies, have the images, all the cats and dogs, as well as some little paw prints in there. It's a cute, cute set, cute bundle actually. And what we're going to do, I went ahead and I stamped an extra one before I came on. This is the reverse image, remember, because the dog actually faces to the right. And of course, our die does not work, right? You're not going to get a clean cut of that animal if you try to die cut it from that side. But remember, we stamped the back of this to transfer the ink from the silicone pad onto the cardstock, and he will line up with that guy, just like so. So let me bring in the boss. This is our new die cutting and embossing system that releases on September 1st. And I named, my other one was the Big Shot, the old one. So this one had to have a name because die cutting and embossing system is a mouthful. And so we named it the Boss. And when the little one comes out later, then that one is going to be called the Baby Boss. So I'm going to line up my die. I'm going to grab a piece of washi tape. I'm missing my magnetic plate. As demonstrators, we were able to pre-order the machine, but we were not able to pre-order the magnetic plate. And I do an awful lot of die cutting, as you can probably tell from my well-loved cutting plates here. So I am missing that magnetic plate, but it is going to be released September 1 as well, which I think is today, right? I don't know about you guys, but I am having a hard time keeping track of what day it is. All right, so you hear how quiet that machine is? Love that. So this, again, is the image as it is created. It faces to the right. My washi tape is very sticky tonight. And then we have a great cutout image, but look, we also have a great reverse image. So that's pretty cool. So you can reverse stamp and you can reverse die cut simply by using the Stamparatus and the silicone pad. Perfect alignment, no blurry images, and you can create really cute projects. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this today. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more, please go down and hit that subscribe button. You might just be my first subscriber or my second subscriber, or who knows, my third subscriber. But I'm looking forward to sharing more projects with you in the future, and I'm happy that you spent the time with me. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks. Bye.